Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order for the Shamong Township reorganizational meeting. Sunshine statement for this meeting is that proper notice of this meeting has been given in compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act. At this time, we would like to bring up to the front Brian Woods and David Diamond for swearing in their 3-year term, and congratulations to another term for you, and welcome aboard for David.
You want to do, we want to also acknowledge Brandon Umbra, our state senator, and thank him for coming. Well, I like the Senate.
I won't take labels.
And we'll do one at a time, Sue?
Yeah, you can do one.
And on the Bible, right hand. Right hand. Right hand. I state your name.
I, Brian Woods,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
of Township Committee member
of Township Committee member
for the Township of Shamong,
for the Township of Shamong,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Okay, David, you bring your family up.
Got the Bible. Switch out. Got the other one. Left hand, you're welcome. Left hand on the Bible, right hand in the air. I state your name.
I, David Diamond,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of Township Committee members
of Township Committee member
for the Township of Shamong,
for the Township of Shamong,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
All right, David and Brian, come on up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay,
so you-
time.
Mayor's out.
Somebody fix that.
Yeah. Would you like to do the roll call?
Yes,
Didn't even
Mr.
have a trick
Diamond?
yet.
Here.
Mr. DeCroce,
Yes, here.
Ms. Mazitis,
Here.
Mr. Wilkinson.
Here.
And Mr. Woods.
Here.
At this time, we look for appointment of the 2025 mayor.
Do we have a motion?
We'll make a motion to reappoint Mayor.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Mr. Wilkinson,
Yes.
Mr. Woods,
Yes.
Ms. Mazitis,
Yes.
Mr. Diamond,
Yes.
and Mr. DeCroce.
Yes. Next, we have the appointment of the 2025 deputy mayor.
I'll make a motion to appoint Brian Woods.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Who's the second?
Me.
Okay, great. Ms. Mazitis,
Yes.
Mr. Diamond,
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson.
Yes.
Mr. Woods,
Yes.
and Mr. DeCroce.
Yes.
Can we get you guys both sworn in for the year, please?
Sure.
Doug, can you help?
Yeah. Mind doing it?
Either or.
You came all the way out for something.
Not far. Yeah, do one. I state your name.
I, Michael DeCroce,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
of mayor
of mayor
of the Township of Shamong,
of the Township of Shamong,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mayor.
Thank you.
There you go. Maybe we can.
Yeah.
All right. Right, got that? Good. I state your name.
I, Brian Woods,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will be
that I will be
impartially
impartially
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
of deputy mayor
of deputy mayor
for the township of Shamong,
for the township of Shamong,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So,
Congratulations, Mayor.
excellent.
Okay, welcome to the Shamong Township Committee reorganization meeting. Any of you that are here that would like to leave, we won't be, that was the best part, right, for David and Brian. We won't be upset if you have other plans because our meeting is going to be rather long. But I wanted to thank you and acknowledge you all for coming and congratulations. With that said, we're going to invite you to join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm glad we didn't mess that up, otherwise Kamala would be complaining. Assemblyman, would you? I listened to it and I couldn't find her mistake. Did she make a mistake?
Yeah, very beginning.
Ah, interesting. Okay. At this point, I'd like to invite Brandon, our assemblyman, to say a few words. That way everybody can see him. And we appreciate you coming out. It's really special to have you.
Thank you.
Let us know what's going on in your life and the reelection and all those good things.
Well, I will be running for reelection. I'm currently not your assemblyman. I don't want Assemblywoman Andrea Katz to be upset. She did duly beat me at the last time, but we're going to beat her this time. But we got a lot of good things happening. Senator Tiver and Assemblyman Teresi are doing an excellent job for the 8th District, keeping an eye on things, making sure that we're seeing our fair share back. School funding is probably the top thing in my mind right now that, the Democrats haven't decided what they're going to do. But politics aside, we need to make sure that we're getting money back down to communities such as yours so that you can thrive, you can, prosper for your residents and keep taxes low. So I wish the committee a lot of success and luck this year. If you need me, I'm just right down the road. Brian knows how to get me. The mayor knows how to get me. And I'm also a fellow administrator in Southampton. So if you guys need anything for that as well, love as a neighboring community to be able to help you out.
And congratulations on that appointment as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming out. You don't need to stay. We won't hold it against you, but you can ditch out anytime you like.
I like it.
All right, good. All right, we're going to try and move as quickly as we can for for everyone that's online or here as part of the reorganization. We're going to do resolutions. I think there are 25 of them or so. Blanket motion 2025R-1, which is our annual meeting notice. 2025R-2, authorizing the newspaper for publication of legal notices. 25R-3, authorizing the award of a fair and open contract for professional services with Raymond Coleman Heinold, LLP, as Township Solicitor. Certification of funds are attached. 2025R-4, authorizing the award of a fair and open contract for professional services, Joseph R. Hirsch, PE, Environmental Resolutions as Township Engineer. Certification of funds are attached. 25R-5 authorizes the award of a fair and open contract for professional services in Verso and Stewart, LLC, as Township Auditor. Certification of the funds are attached. 2025R-6 establishes the tax assessor's responsibilities. 25R-7 establishes a grace period for payment of taxes and setting the rate of interest on delinquent taxes. 25R-8 designating the official depository of funds and escrows for the Township of Shamong. 25R-9 provides the budget to be read by title only at a time of the public hearing. 25R-10 awarding the contract with Pogue Inc. for coordination of alcohol and drug testing. 24R-11 is the appointment of TC Irons as a risk management consultant for the year ending December 31, 2024. 24R-12, appointing a contact person for the employment practices liability attorney consultation services. 24R-13 is appointing Joanne Robertson as claims coordinator and Susan Honorado as assistant claims coordinator to the Burlington County Joint Insurance Fund. 24R-14, appointing Susan Honorado as fund commissioner and Lisa Jordan as alternate fund commissioner to the Burlington County Municipal Joint Insurance Fund. 24R-15 adopts a form required to be used for filing of notices of a tort claim against the Township of Shamong. 24R-16, accept the Burlington County's Municipal Joint Insurance Fund Safety and Compliance Program. 24R-17 accepts and adopts the Burlington County Municipal Joint Insurance Fund's Transitional Duty Program. 24R-18 is a civil rights policy with respect to all officials, appointees, employees, prospective employees, volunteers, independent contractors, and members of the public that come into contact with municipal employees, officials, and volunteers. 24R-19 is certification of compliance with the United States Equal Opportunity Employment Commissioner's enforcement guidance on the consideration of arrest and conviction records in employment decisions under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. 24R-20, appointing residents to the Pineland CERT. 24R-21, authorizing and ratifying the memorandum of understanding for Pineland's Regional Community Emergency Response Team. 24R-22 authorizes MCM Technical Solutions for IT support per the written contract. 24R-23, appointments, annual appointments to the Cemetery Advisory Board. 24R-24 authorizes Sletzel, S-Z-E-L-C.
Zelk.
Zelk.
Fred Zelk.
A memorial for undertaker and related services at Pinelands Memorial Park Cemetery. And finally, 25R-25 is appointing the interim electrical, plumbing, building, and fire inspector, Keith Ravelin. Okay, with all those, if anybody has any questions or comments, if not, can we have a motion for all of those?
I'll make a motion for the blanket
Thank you.
of 25.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Ms. Mazitis?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson?
Yes.
Mr. Diamond?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Yes.
Mr. DeCroce?
Yes. Next is 2025R-26, which authorizes the establishment of a temporary budget for 2025.
This is meant to just cover the first quarter. By statute, we're only allowed to be 26.25% of the prior year's budget. And we're under that by about, actually quite a bit, almost 100,000.
Okay, if there are no other questions or comments, can we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second. I'll second, sorry.
Mr. Woods?
Yes.
Ms. Mazitis?
Yes.
Mr. Diamond?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson?
Yes.
Mr. DeCroce?
Yes, next is another blanket motion to the appointment of the following positions for 2025. Township Administrator Susan Honorado, Administrative Assistant Joanne Robertson and Lisa Jordan, Secretary Board of Health Susan, Clean Community Coordinator Susan, Deputy Clean Community Coordinator Lisa Jordan, Public Agency Compliance Officer and Municipal Recycling Coordinator Susan, Deputy Municipal Recycling Coordinator Lisa Jordan, Municipal Search Susan Honorado and Joanne Robertson, Subdivision Approval Search Susan and Joanne, Safety Coordinator for the JIF Joanne, Deputy Safety Coordinator for JIF Susan, Wellness Coordinator for the JIF Joanne Robertson, Deputy Wellness Coordinator for the JIF Susan Honorado, IT Director Susan Honorado, Deputy Clerk and Register of Vital Statistics Joanne Robertson, Deputy Registrar of Vital Statistics Lisa Jordan, Alternate Registrar of Vital Statistics Susan Honorado, Deputy Tax Collector and Tax Search Lisa Congemi, assistant tax collector, and assistant tax collector, which you have twice. Oh, right, an
Assessor.
assistant tax assessor, Lisa Jordan. Qualified purchasing agent for a 4-year term, which is due to expire in 2028, is Donna Kondo. Assistant CFO, Lisa Congemi. Technical assistant, part-time clerical work, Public Works, is Lisa Jordan. For Public Works, we have Stephen Mitchell, supervisor, equipment operator, Robert Mitchell, equipment operator, Lester Abrams, zoning officer, Edward Toussaint. Part-time temporary equipment operator, Ben Brick, Michael Capetta, Michael Dealey, Nicola Labella, Ryan O'Rourke, Michael Welsh, and Norman Welsh. OEM Deputy Coordinator, William Carrig and Joseph Reinhardt, and Workers' Compensation Doctor is the Virtual Hospital and Urgent Care Centers. If there are no questions or comments, can we have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Mr. Wilkinson,
Yes.
Mr. Diamond,
Yes.
Ms. Macias,
Yes.
Mr. Woods,
Yes.
Mr. DeCroce.
Yes. Next is the mayor's appointment to the Pinelands Municipal Council. The mayor designees for a 1-year term expiring December 31, 2025 is Jay Renwick. We need a motion for that?
We do know.
I don't think so, right?
No.
No.
Next to the mayor's appointments, the Joint Land Use Board. Alternate Class 1 is Heather McGarvey, term expiring 12/31/25. Township official Class 2 for 1-year term is Susan Honorado, also expiring the same date. Class 4 member, 4-year term, Kathy Wigley, expiring 12/31/28. Class 4 member for a 4-year term, Bonnie Lynch Schneider, which also expires 12/31/28. Alternate Class 2 for 2-year term, John Roddleton, expiring 12/31/26. And an alternate number 4, Class 4, 2-year term, Chris Leo, expiring 12/31/26. Any questions or comments? Okay. Motion needed for that?
Not for that one, no.
Next, we have a Joint Land Use Board Committee appointments for a 1-year term. The mayor, Class 1, will be me, expiring 12/31/25, and the Township Committee member, Class 3, will be Neil Wilkinson. Thank you, Neil.
You have a motion on that, please?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Mr. Woods,
Yes.
Ms. Macias,
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson,
Yes.
Mr. Diamond,
Yes.
Mr. DeCroce.
Yes, a motion to make rent control board appointments. Member Kathleen Brightsman for a 3-year term, expiring 12/31/27. Member Tracy Holbrook for a 3-year term, expiring the same date. Alternate member number 1 is Chris Leo for the balance of a 3-year term, expiring 12/31/26. Alternate member number 2, Michael Southwick, for a balance of a 3-year term, expiring December 31st, 25. And Park Residence FLV, it's vacant at that point. Do we have anybody that
We have asked them for the last 3 years and nobody has come
Okay.
forth on that.
maybe you should move in there, Neil, and that way you can take
That way
that.
too.
Okay, we need a motion for that.
Yes,
And if
sir.
there are no questions or comments.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Mr. Wilkinson,
Yes.
Mr. Diamond,
Yes.
Ms. Macias,
Yes.
Mr. Woods,
Yes.
Mr. DeCroce.
I vote yes. Motion to make Shamong Township Recreation Advisory Committee appointments. For the Township Committee member, Neil Wilkinson is nominated. The balance of a 4-year term would be a resident, and we don't have anybody interested at this point.
Mhm.
So if there's anybody that would like to be, you'll do it, Heather? Okay, Heather McGarvey.
Well,
Do we need to publicize that before?
no, just you have to fill out a form.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
I still technically work with Atlantic Regional, so they have my fingerprints on file. I
Okay.
don't know if I have any.
For coaching, they do for direct. This is really just a,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you for volunteering. The resident for a balance of 4-year term is Jim Sweet, and that will expire 12/31/28. The IMAA representative 1-year term is Fred Lynette, 12/31/25 expiration, and the IMAA president 1-year term, Rick Ferrara, expiring 12/31/25. If there are no questions or comments, could we have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Ms. Mazitis,
Yes.
Mr. Woods.
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson.
Yes.
Mr. Diamond,
Yes.
Mr. DeCroce.
Yes, next is the motion to appoint M&R Wildlife as a 2025 Animal Control Officer. Any questions or comments? If not, can we have a motion?
I'll motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Mr. Diamond,
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson.
Yes.
Mr. Woods,
Yes.
Ms. Mazitis,
Yes.
and Mr. DeCroce.
Yes, motion to appoint Township Administrator, Township Deputy Clerk, Township CFO, Township Building Code Official, John Lyons, William Carrig, Joseph Reinhardt, Charlie Bergen, Michael Bader, Thomas Gerber, Robert Mitchell, Stephen Richard, Hewler Venna, Kerry Lyons, Christy Taylor, Kathy Angelo, Pastor Eric Vagan, Todd Hall, and Lester Abrams as members of the Emergency Management Staff for a one-year term expiring 12/31/25.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Ms. Mazitis,
Yes.
Mr. Diamond,
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson.
Yes.
Mr. Woods.
Yes.
Mr. DeCroce.
Yeah, I vote yes. Motion to appoint Michael DeCroce, Megan Mazitis, Neil Wilkinson, Brian Woods, David Diamond, Susan Honorado, Joanne Robertson. You want to get married again? Ed Toussaint, John Lyons, William Carrig, Joseph Reinhardt, Thomas Gerber, Michael Bader, Kyler Venna, Charlie Bergen, Christy Taylor, Kathleen Agolio, Pastor Eric Vagan, Todd Hall, Lester Abrams, Robert Mitchell, and Stephen Mitchell as members of the local Emergency Management Council and its subset group, the Local Emergency Planning Committee, for a one-year term ending 12/31/25.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Woods,
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson.
Yes.
Ms. Mazitis,
Yes.
Mr. Diamond,
Yes.
Mr. DeCroce.
Yes, a motion to appoint the mayor, Susan Honorado, Ed Toussaint, Stephen Mitchell, Joseph Hirsch, Charlie Bergen, John Lyons, Michael Bader, Robert Mitchell, Lester Abrams, William Carrig, and Joe Reinhardt as members of the Hazard Mitigation Committee for a one-year term ending 12/31/25. If no questions or comments, could we have a motion, please?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Mr. Diamond,
Yes.
Ms. Mazitis.
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson.
Yes.
Mr. Woods.
Yes.
Mr. DeCroce.
Yes, motion to appoint the mayor, deputy mayor Susan Honorado, Douglas Heinold Esquire, Michael Fristacchi, and Stephen Soapy to the Cannabis Subcommittee for a one-year term ending 12/31/25. If no questions or comments, can we have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Mr. Wilkinson.
Yes.
Mr. Diamond,
Yes.
Ms. Mazitis,
Yes.
Mr. Woods,
Yes.
and Mr. DeCroce.
Yes, at this point, we're going to open the meeting to the public for any questions or comments on any of these appointments or the reorganization. Okay, seeing and hearing none, we'll close this portion of the meeting to the public. And we will ask for a motion to adjourn this reorganization meeting of January 7th, 2025.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll
The
second.
reorg.
I'll second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Yeah, that was fairly painless.
Okay, and then if everybody can just switch over to their next meeting packet.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you coming out.
Whenever you're ready, Mayor.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Welcome to the Shamong Township Committee meeting of January 7th, 2025. Sue, do you want to read the sunshine statement?
Please be advised, proper notice of this meeting has been given in compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act.
I'd like to wish everyone Happy New Year. And thank you for coming out. We hope to have a very good New Year. I want to welcome David Diamond on to the dais and congratulate him.
Thank you.
And we're going to retain our focus on trying to reduce taxes in Shamong. We understand that everybody is upset with the $1,000 or $1,400 increase that you've most likely received. As you know by now, most of that has come from the school. Sue, what was our tax increase for Shamong?
I think it was $13 for the year.
Yeah, so
last year.
$13 for the entire year that we increased our local taxes are. So we're proud of that, and I want to congratulate you and all of the employees of our town who are concerned with what's going on in town. And we've recently passed a resolution which honored our taxpayers that says we're going to do a common sense here in Shamong, and we're going to try and reduce regulations wherever possible. I'd like to thank members of the dais for serving our community and acknowledge not only the taxpayers, but our workers here in town. I have a proclamation for Gary Welsh, who was a member of our team for 34 years. And he's so shy, he doesn't want to come here, but we're going to read it anyway. Gary was born in July 5th, 1960, the son of Norman Sr. and Martha Welsh of Indian Mills. He began serving the community as a life member of the Indian Mills Volunteer Fire Company and as a district fire warden of the state of New Jersey Forestry Service. He was hired by Shamong Township as a public work equipment operator on December 7th, 1990, and he was promoted to public works supervisor on May 1st, 2022. Gary is a lifelong resident of Indian Mills and has always prioritized the needs of his community, and for that, we are forever grateful to him for his service. Gary can often be found assisting residents after work at the Red Barn Farm stand, which was started by his parents. He has served the residents of Shamong Township with dedication during periods of snow, sleet, ice, rain, high winds, forest fires, hurricanes, tropical storms, and whatever Mother Nature could throw at us. Now therefore, be it proclaimed that Shamong Township recognizes Gary Welsh for his 34 years of unconditional service to our residents of Shamong Township and upon his retirement of January 1, 2025. So that's quite an accomplishment. Hardly anybody stays in a job for 34 years. Anybody here have stayed in a job for 34 years? All right, Charlie, good job. Wow, amazing. So we're very pleased to recognize Gary, and I think there will be our community dinner
Yes,
for him on the 19th,
the 9th,
the 9th,
the
okay.
9th, so this Thursday, so we'll.
All right,
present
so
for-
unfortunately, I'll be out of town, but enjoy the rubber chicken without me.
Somebody can read for in your.
Okay, yes, so maybe you can, we'll do the proclamation perhaps at his dinner. I think that'd be
Yes.
great. All right, good. At this point, it's also Radon Action Month. What do you do on Radon Action Month?
You do a rate, oh, no.
All right, anybody concerned with radon, contact us and we'll tell you to open your window, I guess. All right, at this point, I'm going to open the meeting to public comment and ask anyone who has any questions or comments to feel free to come on up, identify themselves, and you will be heard. Okay, seeing and hearing. Yes, ma'am. Happy New Year.
Judy Shahinian, 102 Willow Grove Road, Shamong. I was at the meeting, not last month, the month before, about the circle. Of course, I'm being inflicted, although I feel like I'm the only one struggling. I've written 2 letters to the Department of Transportation, got no response, saying, what are you doing for me? Because the value of my home is going to go to crap with this circle, although they're not taking so much of my property, although the other people are telling me they are. So I just feel so lost, not knowing or understanding what they're taking. On the paper, it doesn't look like they're taking much, but I'm told that they're moving my driveway further down and that they are taking a lot of property. So it's like, I don't know what to believe.
Is the county telling you this? I'm sorry.
Well,
Yeah.
the pictures that I was shown at that meeting doesn't look like they're taking much from me. It looks like they're taking more now from other areas. But I'm still being told, though, by other people in the community that what's showing isn't what's really happening. And so that leaves me at a loss, not understanding. And then I did have somebody representing me. And then when I last called him, because he was supposed to come to the meeting along with myself, and he didn't come, although he told the other gentleman that, what is his name?
Jimmy. Jimmy.
Jim
Gaskill.
Gaskill. He told him, but not me. Here I'm paying too. So that was a little upsetting. So I just don't understand what they're doing, and I don't understand why they don't need to do any kind of assessment as to this traffic need of why they think they need this circle. Because ever since Atco has closed, there is a huge difference in traffic. And I just don't feel like I'm being heard. I mean, I know you live in the area as well, so you must see it. Yeah, maybe there's an accident once in a while now, but it's nothing like it was when I first moved here, by no means. So I don't even know. Do I hire a lawyer again? I feel
Have-
like I don't know what to
Still-
do.
Do you still have counsel or?
I had Mr. Leodori, and now he's saying, well, you have to go with the flow, just, listen and be, vigilant. But I feel like he doesn't want to represent me anymore. Like he's
Have
not
you gone
being
to
an-
a county meeting?
Excuse me.
Have you gone to a Burlington County meeting? At all?
No.
Those are, they were the ones that would have answers.
But we were told, you can write to the traffic department. I've written 2 letters and gotten nothing back.
This is the
So-
county traffic department?
Yes.
The county engineer's office?
The address that they had given us, I've written 2 letters, gotten no response. So it's like, when are they going to knock on my door or ring my telephone and tell me what they're going to do for me about what they're taking?
Here's where I understand things are. As far as your property, I don't believe they're going to take any of your property, or if they do, it's supposed to be minimal. As a result of your complaints, they have moved the circle over and they're going to take more
see
from
that.
Jim's and our property.
But it's still going to kill
gonna
the
impact.
value of my home, and all these car lights are going to be shining in the house, which it already happens, but now it's going to be even worse. So
Understood.
how do I get reimbursed for the value of my home going to nothing? I can't sell now, which I've considered because, of course, even though no one told me when I purchased the home that they were going to do this, now we have to. Now it'll be told. So I'm going to be losing at least 250,000 on the value of my house.
Yeah, I think you probably need to file a declaratory judgment action or some type of action as your property's been diminished as a result of what the state is doing, the
Who-
county.
So are you going to be here for the whole meeting?
Yes.
Why don't, before we go into executive session, let me talk to you for a few
Okay,
minutes.
I'd
I
appreciate
can give
that,
you a
'cause-
couple names of people who specialize in this area of the law, who I think would be helpful to talk to.
It's very frustrating,
I
this whole
understand.
thing. It really is. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, you're not going to take my property and that's great, but still the value of my home, I'm not going to be able to sell it for what I could possibly sell it for now. I would at least ask 750, 785. I've put over 240,000 into the house, redoing it. It needed major work, including the well and septic. Like I've put a lot of money into this house. I'm never going to get it back. And that's not fair. So yes, you're not taking my space, but you're killing the value. And I have to be reimbursed for that somehow.
Yeah, I do think you should be talking to somebody, and if your current counsel is not interested
you
or
know-
being responsive, I have other people who I think are
Okay.
experienced in this area who could be helpful to you.
I'd
And you could at
appreciate
least
that.
have a conversation with them and try and get the lay of the land. From my recollection at the meeting, I think the issue is that the engineers have their sort of scope of work, and they're told by the people who deal with the actual compensation side of things not to address those issues, that it's not their scope and not to
Understand
do so. But it leaves you in a situation where you're not getting any answers then.
Right. And, I feel like I'm the little person now. So they're not going to take my stuff, but you're still killing the value of the home. So what do I do?
Mhm.
How does that leave me? You still have, somebody has to reimburse me for the diminishing value that's going to happen sitting on a circle. Who's going to buy this house? Let's be real. I don't even want to live there anymore. Had I known, I would have never bought this house. And I'm still looking into that as to why I was not told, because it was known. Because how can somebody knock on my door 2 weeks after I move in and say, hey, did you know they're putting a circle? Well, why wasn't I told? I was told I was getting a blinky light and a 4-way stop, which I don't understand why they don't try that at least,
Yeah, we have formally requested they go back and do a traffic study. The other thing,
It has to be done.
the other thing is that, as you're aware, they have to go before the Pinelands. We've been monitoring that as of last, I guess a couple of weeks ago, they hadn't made application yet. So that's another thing to keep on your radar, is the Pinelands Commission. And we'll go there and find out whether or not they did a study as to whether or not
Because according to the woman, they didn't.
correct.
That's
so-
that's troublesome.
Well, I agree with you. The traffic is much diminished. Even when ADCO was open, I went out and personally did a traffic count. As I recall, it's around 1,600 cars per day extrapolated out. and that was very generous. That's nothing.
Right. And
Right.
now it's much less.
It's much less. So, you know, my personal
I know.
opinion and,
2.5 million to do this, and that doesn't include reimbursing people. 2.5 million could be used in so many other ways.
absolutely. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you, Judy. Anybody else, have any questions or comments? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we'll close that portion of the meeting to the public comment. And, I'll just offer, John, would you like to jump ahead and, okay, good. Charlie, would you like to jump ahead? Nothing. Perfect. I love that. All right, so we're going to go for items for discussion and possible official action. Number one is the approval of the December 3rd, 2023 regular minute meetings. Can we have a motion if you were there and you
I
had
will
enough?
make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes.
Thank you.
Second.
Ms. Macias,
Yes.
Mr. Woods,
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson.
Yes.
Mr. Diamond,
Abstain.
Mr. DeCroce.
Yes, I vote yes. Next is the approval of the December 17th closeout minute meetings.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Woods,
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson,
Yes.
Mr. Macias,
Yes.
Mr. Diamond,
Abstain.
and Mr. DeCroce.
I'll abstain. Approval for the Boy Scouts to collect Christmas trees that once again this year on Saturday, January 11th, 2025, for which we are very grateful.
We need a motion on that?
Yes, we do.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll
Okay.
second. Oh, sorry.
Ms. Macias,
Yes.
Mr. Woods,
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson,
Yes.
Mr. Diamond,
Yes.
and Mr. DeCroce.
Yes, approval of a one-year license renewal to operate, which will expire on December 31st, 2025. All documentation has been submitted, fees have been paid, and UCC inspections have been completed by Garden Homes Management Corporation for the Oakview Village and Fawn Lake Village. If there are no questions or comments, can we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Mr. Wilkinson,
Yes.
Mr. Diamond,
Yes.
Ms. Macias,
Yes.
Mr. Woods,
Yes.
Mr. DeCroce.
I vote yes. 2024 budget updates. The due dates extended by the state of New Jersey for the introduction moved from February 10th to March 31st, 2025, and adoption moved by March 20th to April 30th, 2025. State health benefits plan increase cost for active employees. The increase was 16.5%, meaning that it was a $24,000 move. Retired employees, 16.7 decrease, which is a 3,200 projected decrease savings, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that it doesn't read well. The rate went up by 16.7%, but because of a change in census, we're actually saving 3.2 thousand.
Okay, great. Thank you. Pension cost increased by 15.46%, which is $12.3 thousand to $91,592. Burlco GIF increased by 3.44, which is $3.7 thousand. Health benefit waiver program 2025 savings equals $61,777 for a total savings since 2020 of $244,649. Burlco GIF Fund Commissioner Report of 12/17/24, and approval of reimbursement of health benefits to Barbara Valzano.
You'll see the letter in your meeting packets on Barbara. She's requesting, basically what happened is the state of New Jersey took one extra month's deduction out of her pension for health benefits than they should have, and we have been all over the place between her efforts and our office's efforts. And as a result, they reimbursed the township, not her, the difference of the money. So we want to go ahead and give that to her, back into her pocket.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Any other questions or comments on that?
We
If
do need
not,
a motion
we
on
need
the
a motion.
reimbursement.
I'll make a motion to reimburse Barbara.
I'll second.
Ms. Macias?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson?
Yes.
Mr. Diamond?
Yes.
Mr. Croce?
Yes, sorry. Now we have some resolutions. 2025 R-27 authorizes the cancellation of property tax overpayment or delinquencies of less than $10. Any questions or comments? If not, can we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Mr. Wilkinson?
Yes.
Ms. Macias?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Yes.
Mr. Diamond?
Yes.
And Mr. Croce?
Yes, 2025 R-28, appointing of a municipal court judge, which I assume is going to be
Mr. Mr. Lang, yes.
is going to be Pete Lang, who's a resident of Shamong and has been doing a great job for us.
And this is a 3-year term expiring on December 31st, 2027.
Any questions or comments? If not, can we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Mr. Wilkinson?
Yes.
Mr. Diamond?
Yes.
Ms. Mazitis?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Yes.
Mr. Croce?
Yes, 2025R-29, which authorizes the rate for services provided to strays by Mount Laurel Animal Hospital.
So they're not allowed to perform any duties that exceed $200 without permission and approval from the township.
Questions or comments? If not, can we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll
Thank you.
second.
Mr. Diamond?
Yes.
Ms. Mazitis?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Yes.
Mr. Croce?
Yes, 2025R-30, a resolution to apply for and obtain a FY 2025 local recreation improvement grant through the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs.
So we're applying for roughly $100,000 to carry out the projected field drainage and recreation improvements, which also includes regrading and restoration of areas of excessive erosion and drainage and lighting improvements to the facility, also known as Dingletown.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Mr. Wilkinson?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Yes.
Ms. Mazitis?
Yes.
Mr. Diamond?
Yes.
Mr. DeCroce?
Yes, next is 2025R-31, which authorizes the amendment of Resolution 2024R-72.
And that resolution was for our salaries, resolution for last year. And due to the retirement of Gary Welsh effective January 1st, 2025, recommendation of the Township Administrator to promote Stephen Mitchell to the position of Certified Public Works Supervisor at an hourly rate of $44.79. He's also the only person who carries that required certification as a Public Works Supervisor. And due to Stephen Mitchell's promotion, it's recommended by the Township Administrator to promote Robert Mitchell to Equipment Operator First Class to an hourly rate of $28.72. This would be effective January 1st.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? If not, we have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Ms. Mazitis?
Yes.
Mr. Diamond?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Yes.
And Mr. DeCroce?
Yes, next 2025R-32, which is a resolution establishing policies and procedures for the payment of claims, claimant signature for payment pursuant to NJSA 40A:5-16 and NJAC 50:30-98.6 and NJAC 5:31-4.1.
And this is coming at the recommendation of the CFO and our auditor. And what it'll do is it'll streamline some of the workflow through the accounts payable department so that per the resolution, several areas will not require us chasing down vendors for signatures on a purchase order. As long as we have a requisition signed off by the employee and we have a valid invoice, we can go ahead and make payment then.
Okay.
This was also put out through a local finance notice back in 2018. So we're kind of behind the eight ball, but we want to jump on board. This will help us out. Do need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Mr. Woods,
Yes.
Mr. Diamond,
Yes.
Ms. Mazitis,
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson,
Yes.
and Mr. DeCroce.
Yes, our final resolution, 2025R-33, which is award of a bid to all Jay's Services for FY 2024 Local Recreation Improvement Grant for the Dingletown Park Path Improvements.
We received 7 bids. And the winning bid was for all the alternates including was $51,649.35. And that goes against the grant of $66,000. Anthony, do you have anything you need to add to that or?
No, I mean, we had 7 bids. We took bids on December 19th. The second highest bid was 88,000. So the 51,000 was a pretty good price that we ended up getting on that. The highest bid was 141,000.
Yeah.
So looks like we made out pretty well.
So is this covered by the grant now totally then?
Yes. Mhm.
Totally. And plus we have some extra.
So, yeah.
We have some extras. So I've talked to Joe and Anthony to see if there's anything that within the bid statutes that we can expand upon and we'll do that if we can.
It probably isn't possible, but if it is possible to use some of that to make the changes to the facility that they had
The
there.
snack shop?
Yeah, the snack shop.
We could explore, see what we possibly use it for. I'm not sure if it has to be utilized exactly for what was. initially
Did we
applied
have
for.
the handicap parking
We did have
repairs
handicap parking spaces.
is included in this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are gonna be doing ADA improvements, path improvements. If we can't extend it to the snack stand, then it may need to be, further ADA improvements or path improvements. But that's something that we can definitely consider. moving
Okay,
forward.
great. Thank you. We'll need a motion for
I'll
that.
make a motion.
Thank
I'll
you.
second.
Thank you.
Mr. Wilkinson?
Yes.
Ms. Macias?
Yes.
Mr. Diamond?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Yes.
And Mr. Ritchie?
Yes, next we move on to ordinances. There are 4 ordinances for consideration, 2025.
Mayor, I'd just like to jump in real quick. The first one, we did not get the pending information in time from the state, so if I'd ask if we could table that to the next meeting.
Without objection, so ordered. The next is 2024-2, which is our salary ordinance. Everybody had an opportunity to take a look at that. Any questions or comments? If not, can we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Woods?
Yes.
Mr. Ms. Macias?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson?
Yes.
Mr. Diamond?
Yes.
And Mr. Ritchie?
Yes, 2024.
Just real quick, for the record, second reading and public hearing on that ordinance will be February 4th.
Yeah, I believe that is the date. 6th, February 6th. So it's in there.
February 6th is a Thursday.
Oh,
Yeah, it
whoops.
should be, I think, the first Tuesday is the 4th.
Okay, so it's the 4th. That's, I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to
it
change
should be
that on the, yes, the 4th.
Okay, great. Next is 2024-3, which is an ordinance amending Chapter 71 entitled Fees and Chapter 150 entitled Swimming Pools of the Code of the Township of Shamong. Can you give us a little bit on that?
So this is one of the recommendations that came out of discussion with Ed Saint and his review, which would also has already gone before the planning board.
Correct.
There were some discrepancies in different sections of the code dealing with this issue, and this just cleans up the way that we charge and have been charging for fees related to swimming pools under the codes, renovations, alterations, repairs, and electrical work. The later sections that created some discrepancy were deleted with reference back to the controlling provisions.
And the fee increases bring us more in line with our towns that are adjacent or around us.
I think honestly that the fees are not actually being increased.
Things are.
There were 2 different sections, one of which we were operating under and one which was not correct or had not been updated. So this just cleans up the issue.
Okay, great. Anybody have any questions or comments?
It codifies current practice, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
Okay, can we have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Ms. Macias?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson?
Yes.
Mr. Diamond?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes, next is 2024-4, which is an ordinance amending Chapter 110 of the Code of the Township of Shamong entitled Land Development. Doug, can you give us a
Yeah.
background on that?
So this one's a little bit more in depth and does have some material changes along the lines of what's been discussed. The first one has to do with, we're talking primarily about accessory building structures and their limitations and their setbacks. So right now, there was discussion about the accessory building location, and the language is, as currently stated, no closer to the front property line than the rear building line of the principal building. And 15 feet setbacks from each side and rear yard line. There was some discussion, I think Ed had suggested that perhaps that could be moved up to the front property line. My understanding is that that the planning board, I guess, input was that still remain at the rear property line for detached garage, but for accessory structures, other accessory structures, they should be no closer than the front property line. So there's some additional relief available there. There was also the discussion about expanding,
Didn't we, I thought we said that a detached garage could be flush with the front, but anything else had to be
Yeah.
behind for like pools and.
so you're right. You're
Okay.
right. I'm reading it and I'm trying to read it quickly here, but
Gotcha,
it's
okay.
it's the detached garage is the one that can be up further, and everything else has to be still to the measured off the rear of the dwelling. And then 3-car garage is now replaced with 865 square feet as a maximum in terms of garage size. Obviously, somebody can seek a variance beyond that, but that's what the code permits. And then the biggest issue was recreational vehicles, utility trailers, and boats. There was a restriction against any of those in the front of the dwelling. Now there is a permission so that one recreational vehicle is permitted to be parked in the driveway. All others can be located in the side or rear yard of the property. There is a max limitation of 35 feet in length. And all recreational vehicles located in the front yard shall have a current registration and shall not be in any state of disrepair. And then lastly, no recreational vehicle, utility trailer, or boat shall be parked upon any street, road, or front yard grass area of a developed lot at any time. So again, it does now permit the parking of at least one of those items. If people have more than one, one can be in the driveway, but not parked on the grass in the front yard or parked on the street.
Is the is the weight limit taken out of that? It's just 35
It's
feet?
just 35 feet.
Yeah, there's only a 35 feet indication in the ordinances drafted.
All right, good. That was one of the concerns I had about 10,000 pounds and how do you weigh that?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments about that?
I do. In section 2, the accessory structures, does this restrict farm buildings? or
No,
barns?
so these are in our residential zones for recreational vehicles, utility trailers, and boats. If there's anything, so it has to be a residential associated structure. If there is somebody who has a farm structure, there's a totally separate set of regulations, and there's also a second layer of protection under the right to farm. We have a right to farm ordinance. There's a provision where if a farmer says, I need to put this barn up by the road because that's not plowable soil, and that's the best place to put it and still remain with the most farmland in active operation, they can go to the county ag board and get that relief. So they can actually overstep our restrictions for ag-based purposes.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
I think this is great, lessens regulations, increases property freedom. So thank you guys for putting this forward.
Thank you to the Joint Land Use Board and its members for their good work. If there are no other questions or comments, can we have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Ms. Mazitis,
Yes.
Mr. Woods,
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson.
Yes.
Mr. Diamond
Yes.
and Mr. DeCroce.
Yes.
And I'll just note one more time for the record that all the ordinances adopted on first reading tonight are on for second reading and public hearing on February 4th at 7:30 p.m.
Perfect. Our least favorite part of the evening is the approval of the attached bill list, which this month is $1,586,655.37. And as I often do, I ask Susan if she'll just tell us where that money goes and how much is going to our town and how much is going to school.
Just under 90,000 is going to the town. Everything else is going to school.
Okay, 90,000 to Shamong.
Just under 1.5.
Almost $1.5 million to the school. By the way, we have met with the new superintendent, May, who was at our hearing a couple months ago, and Susan and I and Heather attended a meeting last month, the school board. we're trying to get people on the school board that will recognize and fight for the taxpayers and our students. Stop filling their heads with this nonsense, teach them how to read and write and stop with the waste that we know a lot of waste is going on. So I know nobody's happy with the amount of money that their taxes just went up. Most people don't understand where that's coming from. So we're trying to educate them and we're trying to have an impact. So if you're interested, let us know. If you want to be on the school board, we'd love to talk to you.
I was something similar, but asked by a couple of residents where Shamong is, with pre-K grants that seem to be popping up in all towns. So if we see the superintendent or someone in the future, maybe it's a good question to ask, something good for our residents that a lot of towns are getting. So I'd like to see if we applied for that or where we are in that.
We're looking at some, interesting issues and ideas, whether or not schools could be merged, which is probably, with Tabernacle, for example, whether or not we could use Tabernacle's busing because they own their buses, whether or not we could cut out the waste. Do we need a president, a vice principals? And the amount of money that they're being paid is phenomenal. So we're looking into all that and we're trying to roll back these increases for the future. So see if we can get a hold of that to make our town a little more livable. So with that, we'll ask for approval of the attached bill list. And if there's no motion, then the bills don't get paid.
I'll make a motion to pay the bill.
I'm going to second the motion to pay the bills.
Thank you.
Mr. Woods?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson?
Yes.
Ms. Macias?
Yes.
Mr. Diamond?
Yes.
Mr. Croce?
Yes, next we're going to go to reports. I'm very happy that Doug Heinold is once again going to be our solicitor this year. Welcome once again, and I couldn't be more pleased.
Thank you very much. When you always say it's the worst part of the meeting, I look down and I see it's the reports from the professionals, and then I realize, oh, we have to pay the bills first. I just want to note that I think this year I hit the 20-year mark.
Wow.
With Shamong, and I can't tell you how much that means to me. As you guys know, I was born and raised here, went to school with one of you, and so it's really a special place. It's nice to have this connection still with the town that has given me so much. On some of the things I just want to report on quickly, obviously moving these ordinances ahead. I do have something I'm going to talk to you briefly about in executive session, along with what Sue has. And then I also wanted to just point out on Bighorn Solar, we've been having some discussions about their efforts to move forward, some difficulties they've had with Atlantic City Electric and getting information. And I did receive some information late last month that they were reviewing some things that indicated their ability to be able to move forward with what they would like to do solar wise on the land, not the landfill. They've been able to already move forward with the landfill and have an approval from BPU in that regard, but on Murphy's Pit, which has been stalled in the past because of capacity concerns and lack of infrastructure potentially at ACE. The report was that the new interconnection technical requirements that were issued in October confirmed that they have opened up hosting capacity on their circuits overall. Changes included eliminating a 3 megawatt limitation that was previously in place out there. So they have proceeded with filing an application relative to that. And I think, again, our hope is they get to enough of a comfort level, either with some administrative approval relative to that, or to a point where they agree that there is a likelihood of success and they're going to be able to proceed with formally acquiring the property. As we've discussed, they're amenable to not waiting for final approval before putting fencing in and taking more proactive measures to protect that property from intrusion. So I'll keep you updated as I get information from them. This solar world, as we know, does not move exceedingly quick, but some good news, honestly, from where we were before on this project. So hopeful that that ultimately comes to fruition. And that's all I have tonight.
All right, great. Thank you, Doug.
Thanks.
Next, we're going to move to Anthony. Anthony, Happy New Year. We're happy that you're back with us.
Thank you. Yeah, it's not the 20 years. It's probably closer to 2 years for me.
You'll get there.
But yeah, eventually get there. Maybe I'll see you guys in 20 years. Anyway. Yeah. I'd just like to say thank you again. I appreciate you guys having me here and, accepting me and, being great people, being nice people, being just someone that's fun to work with, to come up here and to work with Sue. Sue's been great as well. She's been a great administrator, very communicative, and can answer anything else. So thank you guys.
Excellent. We're happy to have you.
In regards to what we have on our report, not too much. We already went over the 2 resolutions. So we're working on grants right now. The 2025 rec grant should be completed around the end of January. I'm going to get together with Sue within a week or 2 and get out to Bingle Town Park and get these improvements kind of set for what we're really going to apply for out there. Other than that, we're just closing out some of our old road program projects, and then we'll start working on our proposal to get at Sun Road phase 3 together for the spring. So we'll get the plans together, and then we'll get ready for construction season.
Okay, great. Thanks, Anthony. All right, next we're moving to our Township Administrator, Susan, to give us some information on the building code office, the finance office, municipal office, et cetera.
Okay. Lansing Electric has reached out to us. They're going to be placing door hangers on properties that are in the direct contact with tree trimming and pruning that they're going to have. And this year they're doing it by Loose Tree Service, and that'll be coming out in the next probably 2 weeks, 2 months or so. But if you don't get a door hanger, nothing's happening near or adjacent to your property. We have a mobile Department of Motor Vehicle unit that's going to be on site here on Monday, the 13th, the 16th, and the 17th. Unfortunately, all the books are online. All the appointments have already been booked. So if you know anybody who's looking for one of these mobile units, reach out to me or my office. They do have other sites. I know in Canby County they have like in Voorhees. I saw they were advertising some dates and times, and you can do most of the same services you can get at the DMV office. So it's something to look into. And our 2025 rabies clinic is scheduled for Saturday, April the 26th, again at the IMMS property from 9 until 11. I'm going to pass down to you the tax office report for the month because after the holidays and all, she just got that handed to me hot off the presses. And all the other reports for all the other departments are in your attached agenda pack. If you have any questions or concerns on any of them, please reach out to me and I will get you an answer if I can't answer it myself.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Anybody have any questions or comments? All right, great. At this point of the meeting, well, we've moved pretty quickly. I would just like to welcome David Diamond and congratulate him on his win. And also Brian Woods as deputy mayor. I appreciate the trust that you've given me. I'll continue to fight for our residents to make this a place I like to call a little slice of heaven, where people respect each other. A lot of times when a tree falls down, they don't call Sue or me right away. You'll see guys go out and actually help their neighbors and cut the tree down. And that's what we're trying to foster here, is that we look out for each other. We're trying to save some money. We're trying to get big government out of our lives. At the same time, when there's a problem, if there's somebody not cooperating, that we have a responsive government to go out and help solve the problems, either through zoning or through police, which we try not to do, right? But if the situation arises, we will do that. So I'd like to thank you, members of the public, and also members on the board for the faith that you're putting in us. And I know we'll do the best we can for our township. With that, we're going to open the meeting up to public comment. If anyone has any comments, come up, say your name.
Okay, so we had 3 ordinances, correct? And this was, well, one was tabled. Yeah, one was tabled. And this was the first reading. I didn't hear a reading of any of them. Is there like a printed copy?
It'll be advertised. It'll be on our website. That's per
Okay.
state statute prior to the second public hearing.
Okay, that was my first question. Second, do we have an update on the Woodgate situation? Because
We do. So as you may know, there has been some zoning activity where the person was cited for various violations. That matter did go to court before Judge Lang, It was, I understand that there was an FTA, which is a failure to appear. That was remedied. I understand there's a court case coming up next month, and that person has applied for a public defender, which I understand that application has been granted. So that person will go into court, make their case along with their attorney, and we'll have either Susan or Ed Toussaint or both go in and present the case as to what the violations are. So that's moving as to the current situation on that property.
Okay, great.
Anyone else have any? Judy, come on back up for a, yep.
That there was a newspaper gentleman here at that meeting when we discussed the circle and took word for word verbatim. Shouldn't that have been said prior to the meeting that that was going to happen? Because I mean, I don't mean to curse but he really took word for word, and I had no idea I was being written down.
Most of the time, they don't
actually.
actually attend the meeting. They ask for a recording.
Recordings.
Yeah, they just.
Because I
Every
think
meeting.
the guy was here.
He might have been, but
No, that
I
was
think that was the
Dave
county,
Levinsky, yeah.
Yeah.
official.
Right.
So
He used to be a reporter, so
What
he
happened?
might have that reporter look.
A week later,
Like 30.
I had no idea something was going in the newspaper. We went into the pizzeria and they're like, oh, there he is, and it's like, oh, you're on the paper.
Yeah, usually, Judy, what happens is they'll say, I said all this stuff and none of it made it in there, right? Because they misquote you or they,
Here they have
but
it.
so here we have a recording of this, of every meeting, which you can get if you like.
It's just, I was
And-
taken back.
Yeah, so anything you say in public, and this meeting is public, is for the whole world to see and hear. So, you'll be guided accordingly and,
If it makes you feel better, I've been quoted at length by the same person. So, I think a lot of people here probably have. yeah.
I've been misquoted. I was on your side, misquoted, and in a restaurant hearing people talking about something I didn't say, and I turned to him and I said, that was me and I didn't say that.
I'm just
So.
surprised to see
Yeah.
the newspaper. I said this and I said that. I was like, oh, that didn't sound nice.
I'd like to make a recommendation, like Brian said, go to the county. They have a public forum and you could stand up and talk there. It's I think.
Not about talking and doing any of this.
Oh, you're doing a
and
great
running
job.
people. No, I'm not, but it's just, I feel like I have to make my voice be heard because I had no idea when I bought my house that this was gonna happen, and it's not fair.
Well, it happened to me and the county took my property. And so I went to the county and it was it's a battle. So just from experience, I'm
It's draining.
yeah,
Draining.
I know.
mentally.
I know. And I would go to that meeting and you could bring up your point there also. It's at
think
the
it's-
Burlington County,
I'll give you the
No,
information.
the complex there.
Every second and fourth Wednesday, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. Anyone else have anything they'd like to say? Okay, seeing and hearing none, I want to thank you for coming out and being a part of our community. With that, we're going to go into executive session 2025 R-34, which is an attorney-client privilege for contract negotiation and possible sale of a municipal asset. The way that executive session works is that we'll have a private discussion. If we take any action, we'll come out and actually talk about whether or not we took action or did not take any action. You're invited to stay if you like. It could be 5 minutes. We could be back there for an hour. You never know. But whatever we decide to do, we do make a public record of it. With that, we'll move for a adjournment.
motion for the attorney, for the,
If we go into executive session.
thank you.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Ms. Mazitis?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkinson?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Yes.
Mr. Diamond?
Yes.
And Mr. DeCroce. Okay,
I
at this
vote
point in
yes.
time, we're going to pause the recording and we will also turn off the mics in the room and we'll be meeting in the back room.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, go ahead.
Just, the governing body is taking no official action coming out of executive session. We did discuss a contract negotiation matter. We discussed a matter of attorney-client privilege, and we also discussed a matter involving potential property acquisition on the part of the township. Again, those matters were discussed, but no action is being taken tonight, and so there's no vote required other than to adjourn a meeting. I will also note that there's no public present as we adjourn.
Okay, thank you. If there are no questions, we'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.